our drill and let's do our Vyakti journey first. Today, before I start our Vyakti journey, just want to let you know tomorrow is Saturday, so our schedule will remain same. Tomorrow 3:30 a.m. to 4:45 a.m. And welcome to our Vyakti journey, Mohini Didi, the living light. Stories of spirituality that inspire and illuminate. So now I'd like to invite our dear angel sister Body. Welcome.
Hello, Bhumika. Good evening, family. Brother Dev is hiding there somewhere. So your story this evening, I think, is from a little bit south of here, and certainly one I'm familiar with. Yeah.
Om Shanti, Sister Adi.
How are you?
Good. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
So it's from one of the brothers. All right, so here is the story. I'm going to go straight into it. Let's see where I can start. As my memory takes me back some 38 years ago, when out of curiosity, I was drawn to the Brahmakumari's World Spiritual University. As sweet drama would have it, just after I took the 7 days course, I was told that one of the senior sisters will be visiting the center. All the students were full of enthusiasm and in high expectations. As the moment arrived, I was privileged to meet Mohini Ben. I was impressed as to how natural this sister's manner of speaking and acting in soul consciousness was. As I sat in one of her classes, she mentioned churning. I was carried away with her sharing, even though my finite mind could not understand the depth of her thoughts. I finally had to ask her, how does one go about churning? To which she replied, I will have to take a special class of that. But as drama would have it, I wasn't around when she conducted that class. I was, however, in such a state of intoxication and peace, and was unaware Mohini Ben at the same time was actually conducting the class on churning. Sitting by myself on the sea wall, I was experiencing such profound peace and contentment, and having such an experience of soul consciousness without actually even thinking about myself as a soul. Just experiencing I as eternal consciousness, the moment was nothing new. It was as though I and the moment were one. The 7 days course had become one. All 4 subjects took the form of one I consciousness. In this experience, I had come to realize why Baba continues to keep repeating and reminding us to be soul conscious. Next day after the Murli class, Mohini Ben addressed me directly and said, I was thinking of you as I was taking a class on churning, but you are not there. But you are not here. I then realized that it was around the same time I was having those profound experiences of my true conscious nature and the awareness of how within the drama, karma and knowledge is this form through which I play my part. I smiled and said, thank you, Sister Mohini. I think I got it even though I was not there. The power of I, the soul. Om Shanti.
Always magic. Always magic.
This was 38 years ago.
38 years ago. Yeah, I'm not sure if the soul is on this evening. You may be listening. So I wonder if Sister Mohini remembers the story, but if not, then she's certainly been told that type of thing many times when she was Om Shanti. Good evening, Sister.
Shanti. Om Shanti.
Yeah, 38 years ago. This magical energy, this subtle energy of communication. And sometimes there's the thought, who is the transmitter and who is the receiver? Because sometimes, and we've all had that experience, oh, I was just thinking about you, or whatever, the thought, and then it's somebody's telling you that they had the same thought, or that they were thinking about you. So to try to understand this subtle energy of communication, where the soul felt that even though he wasn't sitting in the class, he was in the experience of the class that you were giving. And so I'd really like to know how that works. Is there like a formula? And say, for instance, now the focus is on happiness. And so if I'm sitting in meditation and just focusing on happiness, no doubt that's my experience. And no doubt there's a nice atmosphere wherever I am. But can you tell me about the work that the subtle energy does? You know, just like you spray different things into the air, they'll have a different effect. One will be for fragrance, one will be to kill the mosquitoes. Certain gases, they'll travel for a long, long way. They'll stay in the atmosphere. What is the work that gets done when we sit in intense meditation? Not on us personally, but how does it reach and touch others? Is there a formula? Is there a way that I can be aware of it so that I can use it?
Yeah, it's something very interesting. I don't remember the story, but recently I had been feeling that those who want to receive and those who have bhavna, they just receive it, you know. Wherever they are, they will just connect very quickly. And as you said, there will be same thoughts and communication happening, connection happening. But there are some souls, they are so much still into very gross, you know, in the sense of they are not able to connect in a very subtle way. So when they are not able to connect in subtle way, sometimes even if you say, they will only take words, not your feelings in that word. There are some, they just feel things, right? So I think basically it is very, very important if you want to receive from ancestor souls, if you want to feel the presence and what Baba's signaling, we have to have subtle and also kind of not very attached to your own role. You know, we are very conscious of our role and very conscious in performing that role, that we miss a lot of subtle things, you know. They are very good in doing things. They are very good in organizing, constantly busy in doing it, but haven't paid attention little bit on catching those subtle, you know. So I feel even with Baba, if we have to receive, we have to go beyond one's role. And also, like sometimes you have to forget that life is not only doing, but also becoming and doing, right? So energy is actually coming from the being. That means, I give you example that once one brother came to Queens and I was sitting in Baba's room. And in Queens, you know, Baba's room is next to kitchen. So generally, whenever I'm doing something, then I go and sit in Baba's room. And I was sitting and kind of, merged in Baba's love. So one brother was traveling from somewhere. He must have come and sat in Baba's room. I didn't notice, but then anyway, after that we offered bhog together and he had to have lunch with us. So he said, I had little bit difficulty in experiencing Baba as my father because I always had problem with my father in Lokik life. So as soon as I think of Baba, something rejects and I can't experience. But today, first time, I really experienced love of Father. And I was saying, you don't have to say it. There was love for Baba. Then I told him that how even this is a picture of Baba, but the way we clean it, we feed Baba, look at Baba with that love. So what we have done, both ways, in the picture created the presence of Baba, love of Baba, but also the atmosphere in the room is not only I have to sit, in meditation, but I have to experience Baba's love. So that means whatever we want others to experience, we have to do that. And when we do it, you don't have to say it. It will be felt, it will be experienced. But again, because he was looking for that experience, so as soon as he came, so I always feel it is so good that instead of you have to keep saying it, keep telling, right? If we can be subtle and communicate in very beautiful way, so everything at the right time in a right way is experienced by all of us. And actually same could be, like what I used to see that when Avek Babdada is about to come. We all do experience, isn't it? Those who are connected, those who are not, they still say, oh, we don't know what's going on. Is it Dadi Gulzar, is Baba? But those who have love for Baba, recognize Baba, will feel that energy, right? So feeling, receiving energy also, everyone has different capacity. And I think each one of us should increase that capacity so we don't miss anything.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm really enjoying this. The other question that came up from the brothers sharing, and I wonder if there's a connection between that and that stage that we would like to be in, where there was less words and more pure experience. And that was churning. The class that you were supposed to take, or that you took when he was sitting on the seawall in Georgetown, was on churning. And so we know not everybody churns. And so I think his question was, how does one go about churning? So that you get, and what's the connection between churning and that stage that you're speaking about?
See, one is, the Janki one explained, one is churning intellectually, right? From the points, more points. But that is like, when we were in the school, we had to write an essay. So that different kind of churning. But this is more internally reflecting, like what would you be feeling? What will you be experiencing from that time? So there is difference between churning and reflections. And then third is what I call insights. Like suddenly you find very deep meaning of what you had been believing. Like internally, like you really feel, oh, now I know what it is. So that's called insight. So churning is good. We start with that intellect, understand all the points, like Mama. She churned so nicely. The way Mama speaks on every point. But then there is something what I say, that when Mama is saying something, even if it's churning, it appeals the intellect, like you just don't feel she's trying to convince you. You just feel it. You experience what she's saying. I had been listening to Mama every Wednesday. And when she explained a point, I really feel so much clear on what she's saying, like I am touched by that. So I think we should now look into not only churning of intellect, but also deeply within my reflections and, be like you want to be that, you want to be embodiment of that.
You make it sound like as if, that the old way of doing something was laborious and time consuming. And I think one of the directions that Baba gave when you were all coming abroad for the first time, that he recognized that the people in the West liked everything instant. And so it would seem that now it's for you, your experience is that instead of the churning on a point or something, but that it very quickly goes from reflection to an insight and presumably a power, pure experience.
But also when you think of Baba and you have to give to a soul, I think that it's very powerful, right? Because I'm remembering Baba and I'm saying, Baba, this soul needs this answer. Or you're going into silence and then you are speaking not just from the points. And one could feel the difference. Have you answered someone only intellectually? Or have you really answered based on your experience? So when you answer with your experience, then other person start thinking, yeah, appeals to me. But if it is only intellect, then other argument, another question could arise, more explanation is needed. You see, and one, like I immediately know I'm just replying from the knowledge. But then I take a moment, I remember Baba, and if I say something, I know that it will be more, soul will be touched more by that. So I think that's what we have to do, not only speak through our intellect, but speak from our experience. So that's what Baba also says, that other person will also have that experience. There is a belief in when people pray to God. So, God knows who is praying and all that. And then how he will make his presence there to give satisfaction to that soul. So same is with us, whether it is with Baba or even amongst ourselves. Like, many souls said love remembrances, offering of home these days. So what I have to do, I just tell Baba, so many souls, what Baba does, send his light and might, and many, 80%, 90%, their desires are fulfilled, or they feel some kind of what they received. So I think it's a magic of Baba, right? Supreme power. But I think it's purity, it's love, it's relationship.
So in terms of the story, the soul would not have had any formal relationship with you.
No, but there was
not at that point, but maybe, and I think that that all the relationships, especially when you're meeting a senior for the first time, and the impact, to me, it suggests that it's a long term relationship, like in other births or something, that they very quickly take from you, as he was expressing. That's exactly what you're saying is what he was getting just by being with you for a moment, and where he could even absorb your class without even hearing it.
is so
Why,
interesting.
why one soul? And maybe there was 50 other people there. Maybe they're not even around today.
So, yeah, I'm also, you mentioned Georgetown, so I can understand, but I still can't think of which brother. But also the souls who are ready to receive, That means this soul had a lot of bhakti. It was his time to experience. So he quickly experienced, and then he continuing, I feel, wherever he is. I don't know who he is, but definitely that became the foundation.
I'll tell you his name afterwards. But he had done a lot of bhakti even just before coming to Gyan. Yeah.
Must be, yeah.
A very, interesting. That
also,
makes...
Also pure mind, Pure mind can catch both things. Pure mind is very sensitive to receive. But pure mind person also has to be careful because they can also receive something negative very quickly too. So we have to be very, very attentive that not to be touched by anything negative or waste. Only allow the pure to be touched, because purity has increases the capacity to receive. They are very sensitive to wherever the thoughts are. They can catch it immediately.
I can fault myself and say that I'm not powerful enough to be able to, that yes, I can answer your question in terms of Gyan, no problem. But you're still asking questions, and it's almost like as if you've hardly given them one answer and they're ready with the next question. And yet their curiosity, that they also were sincere devotees, but because they questioned so much, all the other places they went, they finally arrive at Baba's door. But it's almost like there's the nature of questioning. So how, on the one hand, yes, I need to improve. I need to be able to transmit the answer from that pure place. But what can we advise or suggest for that soul so that it's not just this energy which they have lived on of asking good questions?
I think that every soul is different, and some they like to be satisfied intellectually, some like to be satisfied with the feelings, some are more like, they want to experience something. It depends what they're looking for. So whenever they're asking question, I feel that even it's not one soul, but you have to give a talk. Even if you prepare something, that doesn't work. That's what I noticed. But if you look at the souls, feel the vibrations, remember Baba, very beautiful flow will come. Because then souls say, oh, this is what we wanted to listen. This is what we were looking for. So what I have found that if I have said, I'm going to say this, when I said it, I felt that it didn't work well. But immediately I felt that if I would allow myself to respond to the feelings and in remembrance of Baba, I would have said completely different thing. It happened, it recently also. So I think what we have to do, be aware of the topic, have few thoughts. Remember Baba, look at the audience and start saying what you feel. And that will be the appropriate one. I mean, it will be on the theme, but in a completely different way.
Before COVID, then we had, of course, the ability to bring new souls in front of the seniors, to bring them, to Peace Village, to Madhuban, wherever else. And that's not an option anymore. So sometimes I don't always feel up to this aspect that was available to all the rest of us for all these years. is not available to new souls. So I'm thinking in some ways the work is a little bit harder, you know.
No, it won't be, because they do get experience through their instruments also.
Yeah, but still, as soon as you would take them in front of a senior, then the job is completed. Whereas now, yeah, is different, a little different.
Yeah, Baba will give them in some way or other.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. As you say, like when it's the right time and you know, the requisite amount of bhakti has been attended to, and it's their time, like you were saying earlier, it's time for somebody to die. In the same way, if it's time for somebody to completely surrender, then that'll happen too. Yeah.
Also, we should remember that what we're going to get today, tomorrow we'll not get, maybe day after we will not. So take it, whatever you are getting, you know. Like there was a time that Avek Babdada came, and, you know, like we always had something, some took full benefit, some didn't. And then time came, okay, we went to Madhuban, we could be listening even on video, we can't do that. So we think it could be something better, but we don't know. Yeah. So I think whatever we are getting today, we should be thankful and take as much you can take. That's what I suggest, because I know that situations cannot be same. Yes. And so we might have to be more independent, but then whatever we are receiving now, just take it and then use it. Like there are some, they are taking a lot of benefit with this Avyakti Parivar and experiencing yagya, listening to these stories. And so whatever we are receiving, we should do. Tomorrow, we don't know if there will be that much connection. Zoom is working so well now. You know, so I think we should just take it, whatever we are receiving. Yeah. That's what I was.
Thank you.
Okay, Body Band.
That was good. That was good. I enjoyed that movie. Yeah, very good. Where's our little brother? Dear Dev.
Om Shanti. Yeah, nice conversation. I think this word subtle, I think, came quite a few times. How if we're able to, you know, have our intellect subtle, not so engrossed in roles and responsibilities and, you know, whatever we have to do, but being subtle, actually, we can receive this wonderful energy from others. And the same subtle intellect also helps us to, without saying much, we can give experience to others. I think that's really something very beautiful. And this churning as well, instead of churning and going from point to point, actually seeing it as reflection and then insights, and sharing from the experience, talking to Baba, not so much of, I know this answer. So it's nice to hear this, and actually it seems like we have so much of work to do in all of these levels. So I'm sure we will be all there soon one day. So thank you, Didi.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, Shanti, thank you
Shanti.
so much.
You are still getting stories, right?
Are you okay with it, Sister Mohini? Okay.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of learning, revising.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many more there are, but
it's still have few at least.
To the end of the year, right? At least.
Yeah.
Yeah, until end of the year, because then we do tapasya.
So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.